But then this is you saw that it's gaining very fast. It's a primary fuel, and it will give the world a relief by taking it from fossil fuel-based commercial energy to modern renewables. That bridge it will serve. Why? One, it's cleaner. It's abundant, especially with the exploitation of now shale gas. It is cost competitive rather cost attractive. The only limitation was highly infrastructure dependent, but the technology is catching up, and with the LNG and the floating storage and regasification technologies, even the infrastructure needs are now diminishing. Another reason why natural gas is important, here I have given you the relative costs of generating power in terms of US cents per kilowatt hour and all competing technologies, and the lowest cost of generation is from natural gas when you use the combined cycle gas turbines. So, not only that natural gas is cheaper, not only that it's cleaner, not only that it is very progressive, it also generates electricity, which is the most versatile way of using energy. It gives you the least cost generation of electricity. So natural gas is truly becoming now the centerpiece of energy. And my effort would be essentially to highlight the role of natural gas, the role of Pakistan in promoting the global energy space. If you look at this is 2010 slice, natural gas global production. It's used in exports. 70% of the natural gas was consumed where it was produced within the country. Remaining 30% was exported. 10 years before, 21% went through pipelines, 9% went as LNG. Today, 2 years later, it is 10 to 11% of the natural gas being produced is trading as LNG, moving very fast. Now I want to give you a snapshot geography. Persian Gulf countries, to which I alluded, that they have over 60% of global reserves of not only oil, but also natural gas. I call Persian Gulf countries as a global energy storehouse, as if the Almighty has stored the energy for the rest of the world in that region, which incidentally has been baking under the equatorial sun for millennia, but it has been compensated with source. Where do you see them? This map has two kind of colors, shades. The darker ones are oil fields and the lighter one are gas fields. And you see all centered around the Persian Gulf or within the Persian Gulf. Over 60% of the total reserves of oil and gas are there. So that is the importance, or overriding importance, the paramount importance of the source countries, Persian Gulf. But then how does it come out? It only comes out through the Strait of Hormuz. And Hormuz is very much in the picture today because of the tensions between Iran and Israel and the United States. What is happening in the Strait today? 20 million barrels of oil, which includes 2 million barrels of LNG equivalent, flows daily through this very narrow Strait of Hormuz. And because of insecurity, because of the congestion, already the international freight is very high. It is the largest energy choke point in the world. It's also perhaps very insecure choke point. So how can the future of the world are the global energy. This again another way of showing these are the green, are the oil pipelines gathering system to the ports where they are exporting the oil. So this is the choke point, Strait of Hormuz, right here, connecting the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman, which opens into Arabian Sea, which further opens into Indian Ocean. 20 million barrels of oil and gas alone leave the Gulf on a daily basis, passes through Strait of Hormuz on a daily basis. The loaded ships are going and the empty ships are coming. It's a constant streaming oil tanker traffic. But when it enters the Gulf of Oman, well clear of the choking effect, Pakistan has built a new deep sea port at a place called Gwadar. Now when this oil and LNG comes out from the strait into the Gulf, then it bifurcates. More than 85% takes eastern route. It's bound for the eastern markets, like starting with India, and then all the far eastern markets, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and whatsoever. And the remaining 15% turns south because it's westbound, and it will wheel around the Cape. Right at this point, when we come out of the Gulf, we have this resource, Gwadar. Gwadar can serve as a place, deep sea port, where we can build storages and loading terminals for all the oil, which is beyond the physical capacity of the Strait of Hormuz. Looking ahead, we can bring the subsea pipelines through the shallow water of Persian Gulf and set up international storages and terminals at Gwadar. So when the volume of traffic starts going above the Strait of Hormuz, then Gwadar can serve as an additional capacity outside the externalities of Gwadar. It can help the oil exporting countries, and it can help the oil importing countries, and that is the issue of the global energy security. This is the Gwadar deep sea port, which has been built. Here is the Deepsea Terminal. In fact, very large crude oil ships, like 500,000 barrels, can be handled in the Deepsea port. And this is a beautiful, this is just like a edge of the hammer, which are generally configurations of good seaports, natural seaports, that the proposed storages and refineries can be built here, export-based, and maybe even free international petroleum terminal. And in that role, Pakistan does provide free international petroleum terminal. Pakistan has provided a solution to the congestion uncertainty of Strait of Hormuz and directly strengthening the global energy security where it's most exposed. Now coming back to the natural gas, which I in a way projected as the main source of the energy in this next 2-3 decades. Pakistan has the ability, why Pakistan has the ability to serve as a natural gas hub? Because the sources of natural gas, exportable sources of natural gas, they lie to the west, countries like Iran, which has the second largest gas reserves in the world. They lie in the west to Qatar, which has the fourth largest gas reserves in the world. Those are the marketable sources. Or they lie to the north, Turkmenistan, which has the third largest gas reserves in the world. So the sources of exportable gas are either to the west of Pakistan or to the north of Pakistan. And the markets are either in Pakistan or to the east of Pakistan. India, which is a very large growing gas market. To an extent, also China, because although China has built a pipeline only last year from Turkmenistan to China, but if India has to take advantage of gas in Iran or in Qatar, it still has to go through Pakistan. So Pakistan is a natural intermediary for flow of gas, whether through land pipelines or subsea pipelines between the sources in the west and north to the markets in the east. That makes it a natural intermediary. In that configuration, it serves the role of strengthening the regional energy security and then, accordingly, the global energy security. What are the pipelines that I try to, this is just a sketch at the moment, but this is a pipeline from Iran. It is called Iran-Pakistan pipeline. This pipeline is under construction. From the gas field here up to Pakistan's border, it is about 1100 kilometers. 950, 960 kilometers has been completed. A remaining 150, 140 kilometers is under an advanced stage of construction. Then there is only 785 kilometers from this border up to a town Pakistan here, Nawabshah, and that is under advanced stage. The route surveys have been done, route optimization has been done, the designs have been finalized, the materials have been arranged, and the pipeline laying is yet to start. But it shouldn't take more than 2 years to complete. Today, we have a deadline that this pipeline should have the first gas through in December 2014. There are penalties if either of the two parties, Pakistan and Iran, are unable to meet that deadline. This pipeline will go eventually to India. There is a provision for that. In fact, there was a tripartite project, India, Pakistan, Iran, and when America offered India an alternative source of energy, the access to modern nuclear technology, if India dropped the pipeline for the time being, they did. But I'm sure they want to pick it up after having absorbed the nuclear technology. So that is one lifeline that will bring the gas from a country that is the second largest reserve in the world, needs markets, and the two most needy markets. But there is also a potential that this pipeline, right from Nawabshah, from where it was, from here where it go to India, it can also go to China, and there are preliminary considerations for the Iran. It doesn't have to be the same pipeline. Once one pipeline has been laid, another pipeline will be just laid in parallel to that, because most of the work having been done in the on the first pipeline. The second gas pipeline is from Turkmenistan, which I told you is the third largest gas reserve in the world, and this is the purple line. This is the shortest gas pipeline, only 1400 miles from the fields in Turkmenistan to Pakistan. This pipeline is also called TAPI, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India, and fortunately, India is part of this project in its planning stage. There is a significance of Turkmenistan gas over and above that of Iran. Turkmenistan is a landlocked country. It cannot export that gas as LNG. And therefore, bringing landlocked gas into the use of the liquid markets is again another way of strengthening the global energy security. There is also this green line is the oil line, and there is a thinking that from Kazakhstan, they have very large deposits of oil, particularly around the Caspian area. It may be possible that the Kazakhstan oil pipeline with Uzbekistan, which already exists, it may be connected down, brought down to Pakistani Deepsea port, Masni, in addition to two other where they could export. And once again, giving an outlet to landlocked oil, because the only other way that this oil can be exported is through the Caspian Sea, where it is highly restrictive capacity, again contributing to the world energy security. Now, I also want to share with you gas transportation, means of transportation. Either these are pipelines, and there are two kinds: onshore, on-land pipelines, and offshore.
I was wondering if we could use some time for
Onshore, and then the LNG. But if you look at, if the distance of gas to be carried is more than 4,000 kilometers, LNG is the cheapest transportation. Below that, the on-land pipelines. And what Pakistan offers, essentially, are direct on-land pipelines, therefore cost of transportation is going to be low. Then why should Pakistan and India, or for that matter China, integrate the markets in the pipelines? Because the transportation cost is a function of economies of scale. This is how the unit cost of transportation goes down as the pipeline capacity increases. So it is win-win for all. While, if you just look at the last 7-8 years, we projected 2015, the regional demand for natural gas from the level of 2010 to the level of 2015, it would become almost 5-fold increase. That is the demand from, starting demand from China, building up very fast from India in red color and green Pakistan. So regionally, the natural gas demand is exploding, but fortunately there are solutions within the region, and that's where it has implication. The last comment I may just throw, it is not that we are only a potential hub for energy, we are also potential hub for trade, because we are a land bridge between Asia and Europe, and between Central Asian countries and Russia to the north, because of the World War II ports, etc. So to conclude, that Pakistan is definitely known to be a country full of challenges, which it is. It is in the bad press in the world because of all the instabilities, all the war and terror implications, all the energy outages and the things. But as I said, that I'm looking at Pakistan tomorrow. And since energy is the key factor for the development of the world, the security of the world, the prosperity of the world, Pakistan can play a role towards easing global energy far in excess of its otherwise size of population or size of economy. Thank you very much.